General Hospital. Drew's stunning betrayal of Kai. Trina's bold move stuns Port Charles. Drew Kane had always walked a tightrope between duty and desire, between being the hero and protecting his own. When Kai, the mysterious newcomer with ties to the WSB and a dark past, offered Drew a chance to infiltrate an international syndicate in exchange for justice, Drew accepted. But what Kai didn't know was that Drew had his own agenda, one that would lead to betrayal. Meanwhile, Trina Robinson was reeling. With Spencer presumed dead after disappearing on a doomed ship weeks earlier, her heart remained shattered. Everyone told her to move on, but Trina wasn't ready, until a new truth forced her to confront the impossible. Kai had been operating in the shadows of Port Charles for months. With connections to Andre Maddox and a past that involved classified memory manipulation experiments, Kai believed Drew would be the perfect partner to help take down a criminal faction tied to Victor Cassidy's remnants. Drew was all in on the surface. He went undercover alongside Kai, infiltrating a deep European ring tied to stolen WSB data and experimental weaponry. But Drew had received a separate directive from an old contact at the CIA. Kai was unstable, dangerous, and if push came to shove, Drew was to stop him permanently. As Drew got deeper into the assignment, Kai grew to trust him. He confessed he had a sister held hostage by the same syndicate, and every move he made was to free her. For a moment, Drew hesitated. Kai wasn't a villain. He was broken, like Drew. But that didn't stop the call from coming in. It's time. Take Kai out, or your daughter's safety isn't guaranteed. That changed everything. Back in Port Charles, Trina kept seeing Spencer. In dreams. On street corners. She convinced herself it was grief, until a letter surfaced. An old, water-damaged envelope delivered by a fisherman in France, claiming to have found it inside a glass bottle. The handwriting was Spencer's. "If you get this, it means I'm alive. But I'm not the man you knew anymore." Jordan, Laura, and Curtis all tried to caution her. It could be a hoax. But Trina's instincts told her otherwise. So she made a choice, against everyone's advice. She was going to Europe to find him, whether he was dead, alive, or lost to something darker. Portia begged her to reconsider. "Don't do this, Trina. Don't throw your life away for a ghost." But Trina replied, "I'd rather chase a ghost than live a lie." Drew had Kai in his sights. They were in Amsterdam, preparing for a raid against the syndicate's leader, when Drew got the final confirmation. If he didn't end Kai now, his daughter's scout could be taken from him. Or worse. Kai handed Drew the USB drive that could destroy the entire organization. "You've been the only one I could trust, Drew. Thank you." And then, Drew shot him. Point blank. Kai fell, gasping, betrayed. "You were never with me?" Drew knelt by his side, guilt-ridden. "I had no choice. They threatened my daughter." Kai's final words before slipping unconscious. "You had a choice. You chose wrong." Drew fled the scene as backup arrived. He told the agency Kai was neutralized, but a medical team recovered Kai's body, barely alive. Trina landed in Cassis, France, and followed the clues. A monastery, a hidden ledger, and then confirmation. Spencer was alive, being held by a former Cassidine loyalist named Damien Ravel, a man obsessed with rebuilding the Cassidine legacy. Trina broke into the chateau and found Spencer in a locked room. Gaunt, bearded, but very much alive. At first, he didn't recognize her. His mind had been shattered by months of isolation and drug experiments designed to make him forget his past. But when Trina placed his grandmother Laura's necklace in his hand and whispered, "I never stopped loving you," a spark returned to his eyes. "Trina, you found me." But Ravel wasn't far behind. And he had a proposition. Ravel offered Trina a choice: leave and let Spencer live in captivity peacefully, or stay, and he'd let them both die together. Spencer begged her to go. "Trina, please. Live your life." But Trina refused. "If I leave now, I'll never live again." Then she made the shocking choice. She pulled a hidden vial from her coat, something she'd stolen from Portia's lab. A slow-acting poison. She threatened Ravel with it. "If you kill us, I take you down with me." Ravel panicked. His obsession with legacy overpowered his logic. He backed down. Spencer and Trina escaped through the cellar, fleeing into the French countryside. Trina returned to Port Charles with Spencer at her side. The city was in shock. Some didn't believe it was really him until Laura held him and cried, "My boy, my beautiful boy." But Spencer was not the same. He struggled with anxiety, bursts of anger, and confusion. Kevin Collins recommended intensive therapy, but Spencer refused. Trina stood by him, determined to help him heal, even if he didn't know how to love her back yet. Meanwhile, Drew returned home, haunted. Sam knew something was wrong. When she asked what happened, he only said, "I did what I had to do to protect Scout." But Kai had survived, and he was coming to Port Charles. Kai arrived in town with a mission, to expose Drew. He contacted Anna, then approached Trina. "You think you made a shocking decision? You have no idea what betrayal looks like." Kai warned her. Drew Kane wasn't who he pretended to be, and his betrayal could lead to war. But Trina had had enough of secrets. She told Anna, who confronted Drew. At the same time, the CIA operative who had ordered Drew to kill Kai surfaced in Port Charles, posing as a consultant named Easton Vale. When Scout briefly went missing after school, Drew panicked. It was a message. Trina watched Spencer unravel one night after a flashback sent him into a rage. She sat with him for hours as he sobbed, admitting he wasn't ready to face the world. "You should let me go, Trina. I'm not good for you." But Trina, ever stronger, replied, "You are worth risking my life for. I'll risk my heart, too." Meanwhile, Drew finally confronted Easton Vale, who warned him. "You disobey again. Scout becomes a memory." Drew turned to Jason for help, finally confessing everything. Jason, still regaining trust in Drew, agreed to protect Scout. Together, they devised a plan to lure Easton out. But before they could act, Easton was found dead, with a Cassadine ring in his mouth. Trina organized a gallery showing to raise funds for trauma survivors, dedicating it to the survivors of the storm. Spencer watched her on stage, his eyes glistening. He kissed her that night, not out of passion, but of gratitude and love. "You saved me. Now I'll save us." Meanwhile, Kai revealed to Anna that the CIA used Drew in a rogue operation and had no legal grounds. Drew's record would remain clean, but the guilt would not. When Scout asked Drew, "Did you do something bad to protect me?" he could only say, "I did what I had to do to be your father, and I hope you never have to make that choice." As Spencer and Trina walked along the Port Charles docks one evening, a cloaked figure watched them from afar. A gloved hand gripped a photograph, Spencer and Trina, laughing. A voice whispered, "You stole what was mine, Trina. And now, I'm coming for you." The camera zooms in on the face under the hood, Esme Prince. Alive, changed, and filled with vengeance. Esme's return shakes up Spencer and Trina's fragile happiness. Drew spirals as Kai starts working with Jason and Anna.